Tonight we're going to talk about the new FM targets, new FM armors, and whatnot. And also we'll go over the raid and some other changes in the game. So from top to bottom, Aussie
Morning, everybody.
and Ben
Hello, hello.
and Magic Mike
Hi, pirate buddies.
and Kenny might be joining us later. He's was going to be a little late on getting home from work, and Lady Cat's on administrative leave pending the investigation of her tweets regarding Hong Kong. So we'll see when all that gets cleared up. So let's go ahead and get started. Yeah, I saw people complain and call people hackers in comms that Strike frigates have VXP rank. This has been removed, so no interceptor should have VXP ranks moving forward. I assume they didn't actually do anything, but I'm unaware as associated with things associated with that. So
I seen that a few times during shipwreck and pillage,
mhm.
and it wasn't just strike frigates. But I didn't notice a difference in their fighting them from fighting other ones.
Yeah, because you would have, if it had full rank, you would see a huge difference. Because you get, basically 400% reload if it's fully ranked. So I think you would notice. So it was probably, quote, I'm doing the air quotes here, but a visual glitch.
Yeah, and it only showed as one strike, not as it's called.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Okay. Aura buff icons are visible in fog. These are now hidden. I'm assuming these are related to some of the assault targets. And I'm assuming these are the enemy. Because I think people had a hard enough times with their Saturns and Nemesis figuring out if they were in the fog or not because their auras were so thick or lacked the opaque. They weren't as opaque as they should have been. So, anybody else have any guesses on what that means?
No, not a clue.
Okay. Alrighty. I guess they're working on that because we should expect next raid to see very similar targets to what we just saw with the Nemesis and Saturn targets. So let's move on to the next one. Here's our old slide from last week regarding the Pegasus CICs. And I guess, as you look down here on the left for the Nessus, you'll see that's 100,000 damage per second at a 60 range. Could you click it one more time, Mike? That damage has, after the update, gone up to 5 million per second. So quite a significant difference in, in the damage. Or, a large oversight at the beginning. I would have a hard time imagining they worked at all if 5 million is now the current damage amount. Okay. No thoughts on this one. So, all right, we got the FM 4 cycles running till November 13th. So we got an extra week to build our ships before the raid. Next week is Bounty, then the Flying Dutchman. My assumption is the following week we will see Pillage. And we'll go on from there and then start to see the raid the week after that. Any thoughts? Okay. And here's this up to November 13th. Like we just said, they've introduced a new target, the 137. which we'll get into in a little bit. It says, you know, you need to have the ZX1 explosive armor, which they also said about the auto target that they released. And they've released the corrosive armor and the missile armor in the same genre of 5,000 protection each. In the future, starting November, top targets will be phased out once they are 3 months old and replaced with new ones. I don't know if fresh ones is the right one, but new targets are designed for the Praetorian. No new ships need to be built beyond these fleets. And the first one to level up is the level 131, which will be removed November 20th. I don't know. There's things to, at least I see, is the fact that it appears, I'm not sure if we're going to get new technology all the time. I'm not sure what we would expect to see next besides the ZM1 armor was expected for a while. But I don't know if we need to change our builds because we've talked previously about how the pillage builds are different um,
FM.
from the FM builds as far as what's optimal. So, any thoughts on this, or we'll just wait and see what happens when we see it?
I don't know. It's with what
Well,
they're
my Praetorians work a hell of a lot better in pillage than they do in FM.
You said yours do?
Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot better in pillage.
Yeah.
For the higher targets in the FM.
Yeah, and that's we should probably bring up the fact that was probably wouldn't expect to see Praetorian targets in the upcoming pillage. We should. I explained it last Wednesday. What should we expect, everybody? It should be the Dragoon targets, which I'm not looking forward to after this past raid, and we'd still see the skirmish ones, right? So
in theory that's how it should be, but again, like this last pillage should have been skirmish and assault, and it was skirmish and
so maybe we'll see assault. Maybe we'll see the old assault for the NEMs and the Saturns.
yeah. Or was that last pillage? I don't know. Can't keep them straight.
Okay, alrighty. Well, all I'm saying as part of this is if you have, as Aussie mentioned, that his build is much better in the in pillage than it is in the FM, that you shouldn't be worried for some period of time about, at least from what we can tell and what has happened historically, is sort of veering away from the pillage builds towards the builds for the FM. And I think the major differences that we've seen, from what I can tell, you guys might be able to provide some more details, is the siege targeting, killing some of these turrets faster might be more effective, but it's hard to tell because once we get to the 137, it does have a lot of ships in it. So it's sort of hard to tell as far as until we see more about the 137, which hopefully Ben will be sharing. Look through it. He hasn't hit it before, and Kenny's
I'm playing Kenny tonight.
Yes. So okay. Well, let's move on to the next one.
the pillage prior to this was actually erads and shrikes.
I'm sorry, the pillage what?
Previous
Mhm.
was erads and shrikes.
Okay, so that would be well, erads and strikes are one category, so they
Yeah.
drop siege out of it.
Yeah, they'll probably drop siege and add
No, well, they're going to drop garrison because garrison's been in two of them. So, and it appears that I asked, "Are you close to being ready, Ben?" Because it appears that Mike, because I asked for a slide change, and I think he's not there. Oh, there we go. There we go. This is the new 137. The, and these are the new top targets, the ones that most people are probably interested in. The big thing I noticed is all the Legion barracks, well, not all of them, 129, 131, and 137 also have the bladed pinion missile shards, which are the limited weapons that we would expect to be using on our Pegasus. So if you didn't get enough shards associated with the raid, because maybe you were hitting the 901 the whole time and then gave up because you had plenty of points, it's another opportunity for you to get shards for these missiles. That's for, in theory, 129, 131, and 137. So, because I know some people have, Mike, you have like 30 of them, right? Oh, never mind. He's off. He's on the phone.
Yeah, I have about 30.
Okay. And then Aussie, you have fun. You have like 24, 25.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how many you have, Ben, but
20, 21.
okay. So, the Pegasus has 8 weapon slots. So it'll be 40 per fleet, but we don't know at this point until we see the Friday's VXP. Oh, that's the slide I forgot to put up is VXP weekend, but it's just going to be the same as before. Potentially, and I don't even know if we're going to be able to tell at that point unless the people that have coined away at it know how many countermeasures and which countermeasures we might be using to fill out the rest of it. So I don't expect the need to have 40. I would more think that 30 would be an optimal number. So,
You know about the new weapon, right?
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. Yeah, good. Fine.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Any thoughts on this, anybody? Okay.
Nope, but I'm ready when you're ready.
Okay. Well, put up your.
Sorry. Oh, shit.
No, you're going the wrong way.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I realize that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you could have stopped at the one with the map on it.
Yeah, I like to go back and forth. What the hell?
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry.
Several people out there that are now seizuring. So,
It's the flashing lights. I'm sorry.
yes, this is an overview of the target. And it appears that what we saw before, which, looked like the Cannibal Wendigo or rockets, the one I'm curious about, because Aussie's hit this one time, that one in the middle looks a hell of a lot like a mortar to me. So everybody keep an eye on that one. I haven't been in this target. And then we see the Vulture missiles, and then this weird one that's around that also I think is missiles, but it looks like a really old missile of ours. So I'm going to share Ben's screen at the moment, and we'll see a moving.
You all ready?
Yep, we're all ready. You might want to go to full screen so we can.
Cool.
Alrighty, and I am going to put you. There we go.
Jeopardy theme song.
Mm-hmm.
Jeopardy.
Yeah, we can all figure out how much damage he gets before he goes to that screen. Okay. Appears these ships are like the previous ones. They don't really care where you are. They're going to act on their own. Well, not much damage so far.
That's a mortar on center or there.
Yeah, that's what I thought was. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah, so it appears that there's only one mortar, but a lot of rockets.
Whoa, look at the damage coming now.
Yeah, and there's a lot of mountains in here, so everybody be aware that mountains are considered enemies as far as which we've talked about before, as far as the tortoise formation, which if you have the flagship, really buffs things.
Where did all those hits come from?
Over there.
Wow.
Yeah, and these targets, the turrets seem to be a little bit tougher than what we've seen before.
A lot tougher.
So now it stopped again.
What stopped?
There it's picking up again. It took a whole bunch all at one time, and then it kind of slowed down.
Okay.
The gun that
It took another tranche, let's say, of damage. I don't know another word. And now it slowed down again. So I was wondering what the heck's causing. What's the
Not getting hit by anything?
what's the culprit? No, what's the culprit that's hitting?
I think it's the rockets.
Wow. See, it's hitting you. What's killing you now?
No, it's not.
Okay, wait, these little things are also mortars. Like, we'll see this one.
mortar.
Oh, yeah, that's
Yeah,
a mortar
those are
one.
mortars. Okay, they don't look like any mortars. They look more like a countermeasure that we've seen. I wish they would pay attention to like what we think targets are, or what turrets are, because we have some radioactive things, launch rockets.
Mortar.
Yeah,
Mortar and rocket there.
yeah,
What the hell?
and they're not going down without a fight.
No.
You still got a quarter of the target left. Well, third.
No, he
No,
doesn't.
it's not that much.
He's
Yeah.
only got like a fifth of the target left.
Okay.
Or
Yeah,
eight,
all
10.
It's not that much left.
Yeah.
My estimations are not quite right, but I don't see the.
The gun that was right here was a missile.
Holy crap!
It was that long range missile.
Oh,
Mhm.
Which, if you hide behind these mountains here, you can time it right to go kill it before it reloads.
Okay. We're
Rockets.
You better get 10 or more million points for this.
17 million.
Okay.
13.
13. Ouch.
yeah. The rockets are brutal,
Yeah.
and you have 15 sprints on the ship.
Yeah.
Mm.
You took
58 resisted, 22 taken.
okay.
0 evaded on explosive.
Well, yeah, because evade is or explosive is all splash.
Penetrative was 2% evaded, 13 resisted, 5 taken.
Okay, and you don't have any of the armor plates, which
No armor at all.
okay.
7 hours, 42 minutes.
Minutes. So Kyle is off by.
And what did I say I took? I took just over 7 hours.
Yeah, and you have
So
armor.
the armors still aren't doing that much.
And it's fairly equal damage too. Looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine were equal as well.
Yeah. That's different.
Well, he only showed 2%. No, it depends on the target. He only showed 2% evade. So the missiles aren't doing most of the damage.
Oh, that's new.
What?
If you look at blitz target cost,
Oh, the discount.
yeah,
I've seen that in raid things. I don't know if that's. Do you mean in general or for the FM? I see that in
Yeah, I've seen that before too.
yeah, in raid targets.
Yeah.
I've never seen that in FM.
Well, you probably didn't exceed the damage.
Bucks.
True.
There is no reason for them to give you a discount. So maybe that's the reason for it.
All right, I'm gonna stop sharing now.
So you can go cry.
Yeah.
I mean, man.
Okay.
Yeah. So the damage again,
Dark.
compared to a fleet that's fully armored, is nothing. It's like 30 minutes, 40 minutes at the max.
I was gonna say mine's close to fully armored. I could try it, but I don't know.
But yours is fully armored for missiles, right?
Yeah, mine's fully armored for missiles.
I didn't do any refits
That's
at
the
all.
problem. So probably need a lot more X. Well, they've said we need more X.
Yeah.
Mine, I only have one ship that's got 2 X's on, and the rest only have 1. So, like my fleet was mainly built for the pillage. That's what it was designed for.
Yeah. And so it's what we're seeing is the missile armor isn't doing that much, and the thing that we've talked about on multiple shows is the stacking bonuses. When people look and see the addition, you need to really consider the stacking bonuses that you're seeing here from the individual ships are really quite large, and they need to be in your calculations if you're deciding whether it works or not. And we talked earlier, Rossi, you have 4 ships with 1X and one ship with 2. So maybe if you had 3, we would see, as opposed to seeing about we saw about a half hour, 45-minute difference.
Yeah.
We might see, something larger than that. So, okay. Did you say you want to try, Mike? How many armors do you have?
Well, it's almost fully armored. I'd have to go back off to look at it, but
With M or X, that's the thing.
but they're just whatever we had normally, and just now they don't have any refits on them. I'd have to go. Am I on my present?
Yeah.
Okay, then I can't. Well, I'd have to stop screen sharing and go back and look.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, you would have to. Well, if you wanted to hit a target, you could just stay on screen sharing and hit the target.
Well, I'm on full screen too. Hold on, let me see.
Okay. Well, I'll take you off of.
I'll just go exit. That's all I do is exit. Hold on, let me see what I got here.
Okay. So pillage Praetorians will do badly in this.
Well, then I will do badly because it's
No. But yours,
You got like a hybrid.
I got to reload the game.
you have a different build than Aussie and Ben do, because you have siege targeting on yours, and I don't know what your armor distribution is to see if there's a significant difference. But you were doing really well in the in pillage as far as hitting the.
Yeah, I was actually. It wasn't too bad.
Mike's fleet is like a hybrid of
Mine and your guys.
Yeah.
Okay. Hold on. I gotta stack them back up. I'm sorry.
Stacking up.
Yeah, because I split them up. I was doing the 120, 121s just to get some points because I got
Wonder if the splash damage reduction would be more beneficial now. Even use. I the CTX4 is an armor special. That's the numbers are way low. I wouldn't. And I'm trying to figure out where you're getting your splash damage reduction. The splash damage reduction from like the Hyper 30 is really minimal relative to the total damage that's going on here. So, yeah, it's hard to tell because CTX4 is an armor special, and I think it's way underpowered for this. You might be, one of the things I did notice in that video is that Ben had a hard time killing some of the turrets, and he was taking, I think, a lot of extra damage because he wasn't killing them faster. Because you don't have siege targeting on there, which Mike has on his build, which should take those out faster.
Do you want to look at this first? Or do you want me just to go and do it?
Okay, I'm adding you back to the screen. Okay, so you have
2D 7Ms, 2D6 X's.
Oh, you have D6s. Okay, you don't have the
1D7 ZX1. That's that's on the flag.
Okay. Yeah, yours is
others. I have two, and 2.
Okay, so it might be more interesting because, yeah, I'm guessing 6.5 hours if you have 2 of these on.
Well, one I have 3 of them.
He's got 3 on that one.
Oh, okay.
And
6 hours. 6 hours.
I don't mind trying.
6 hours and 25 minutes.
I'll try it. I don't mind.
Okay.
I'll show my faith. It's Mike driving, dead fleet.
Mike's driving is bad. Yeah, that's the problem. What am I looking for? A 137?
137.
There you go.
Which one?
137. That's it.
Okay.
By the way, when I do these on a show like this, I do them without crews.
And naked. It's all fascinating.
Now on my
Well, we can see that you don't do it with
something's
crews.
going wrong here. I have to refresh. Sorry.
We can't tell that you're doing it naked, though.
Yeah.
I have to refresh because my ship's not responding to my commands.
Okay.
Sorry.
Now, if I was to run crews, it'd be a grease monkey because she's a redhead.
Yeah, that's one way to do it.
Would you like me to put a crew on it?
No, not at this point because we don't have anything to.
Because it's a good baseline, I guess, without it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you have a different armor arrangement than Aussie and Ben, so yeah, they didn't run crews. So
yeah, okay.
6:25, 6 hours 25 minutes.
Yeah, okay. Oh, somebody already tried that one. That's not a.
Okay, back. Okay.
I gotta find one that's clean.
7:15.
Okay. You think he's going to take more damage than you?
We'll see.
Eight
Somebody actually failed in one, that's for sure.
It might have been. No, it wasn't Ben.
No. I played Benny, not Kenny.
Yes.
Okay, this one's green. Okay.
Alrighty.
And I'm 20 seconds out, so.
Well, I'm thinking with the.
This could be ugly. It'll be fun at least. Okay.
It's a 6:45, right?
You said 25. I think.
Look at all those coins.
That's
Yeah.
well, hey, I can prove what I spent.
He gives blood down. It's the whole.
Yeah.
I spent $85 this year on the game. Okay,
And
I can prove
the
it.
sperm donations.
And I can prove it. So.
Stop.
Okay, so you can kite these ones.
I don't know.
Stop.
Yeah. I'm thinking that's why Ben keeps on telling you to stop.
Stop.
Is you can kite them. So
On
yeah,
Okay, now we're up top.
No, you got to do it yourself.
Okay.
Throw your own mouth.
No, you can tell him, yeah, go that way. Yeah, that's the way I'd go.
That's fine.
oh, that's why you're putting the 715 as far as there was no. I was just doing it on the bill.
Yeah, now we're getting it's getting up here.
Now remember that big thing in the middle is that nasty missile.
That
See?
one. Yeah.
And you can.
That one at the top is hard to kill.
They all are.
Look at that. I'm already a quarter dead.
See, if you hide right there, you can wait for that missile fires.
Well, you're also,
Fire
he's also not firing at anything else because he's behind the.
Look at the. Look at the.
Yeah, you're all right.
Gotta
It's
hit-
okay.
hit that
Pay,
thing.
pay attention to the target.
Yeah, don't worry about it. That center one dies pretty quick once you get through the wall.
Yeah. Well, let's see. He killed those ones way faster.
Yeah, he's killing a lot faster. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and yeah. So, building damage does appear to be fairly important in this whole
Look
thing.
how long it takes to kill that one turret.
No, you're doing them a lot quicker than what we're doing them,
Yeah, you're going fast, way faster than they are.
which is going to be which is a benefit.
Something I noticed: the boats don't hardly damage you.
Mm-hmm. And that's probably another reason that the siege targeting, is probably going to work better.
Look at that, he's just about done, and he's
I forgot.
not even taking half damage.
Guys up top here.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah.
He's just about done.
Looks like siege targeting is going to be the way to go on these.
Mm.
Hey, it's not even half dead.
Mm.
Yeah.
Might be able to do 2 of these sons of guns.
Yeah, well, there's one right next door to it.
I was going to say sons of bitches, but
Well, you just did.
it's a family show.
It's a bit
Yeah.
late. Once you said it.
We're not sure whose family show, but yeah. It is a
I've
family.
got a grandson's watching, but he can't hear it.
Yeah, it's, I'm not sure he knows all those words yet. Well, he's Ozzy's kid, so maybe.
He's not my kid.
Well, he's
That is really good. That's a very good time.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, let's see what we got here.
15, where I think me and Ben took 22.
Yeah,
And
I
4, I think, was about
there.
the same.
yeah. All right.
So he's, like I said, he's got more
4?
display. Whoa, that
four.
is.
Oh, I was even
Blew
way-
everyone out of the water.
Well, look at the crap I got for a drop.
Yeah.
I retire. Mike drove better than
Yeah, no, I think that's what we're trying to show here. I think it was the build as far
Yeah, it's the build.
it's the siege targeting.
siege targeting is the thing.
Yeah. Very good.
So we got to that. So you may take you off screen. Are you ready to hit?
I was just showing the builds. If anybody wanted to see it, I'll go back to the thing and put it back on
Okay.
present if you like. No
Sure.
problem.
That's good. Good job.
Good job, Mike.
Jeez, first time Mike did something.
Yeah. I win because
Yeah.
I'm closest, but yeah.
Well, I will freely admit it's coaching between Ben and Hefe.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a combination of, like you said, it's a hybrid build.
And the
And
reason
I won't take credit for the build at all.
you did better is because my part of the build. But yeah,
Exactly. Whatever.
No, it was the sprints rule.
Yes.
I did change it.
But you have the same amount of sprints. But yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the siege targeting. Yeah.
Okay, I'm back on the.
Okay. Well, let's go to the next slide then.
Okay. Oh,
All right, these are the two FM armors we got. They're 25 million each.
200 million points. Nice.
Yes. Well, yeah. So 25 million each. The ZM1 is can you be used on your Praetorian or your Pegasus, and the ZCO is for your Pegasus. So
From what I'm seeing between the FM, the ZM1, I'm going to put on my Pegasus.
I'm seeing is I'm gonna put the opposite armor of whatever my CIC is on my Pegasus.
But I meant I'm not going to waste the ZM1 on my Praetorian.
Okay, on your Praetorian, yeah. At least this month. Next month, maybe move over to the ZM1, and it's only like an 8 hour. It's like a quick, easy 8 hour thing, and so the Pegasus only takes two armor slots per ship. So at this point, we're maxed out. Once we get the flag, there's 10. We don't know. I'm going to get rid of the flag, even thinking about it. So we're at 8. And you can get 4 of these per week. So after week 1, we're already at the point where, at least the way I'm thinking about dealing with the Pegasus is, and again, we're going to know a lot more, or maybe hopefully a lot more after VXP weekend, is I'm going to put one of each CIC on there, and I'm going to put the opposite armor, the one that provides corrosive survival on the CIC. I'm going to put the ZM1, and the one that provides the missile, I'm going to put the corrosive, so it's balanced as far as the armor goes. At least that's the way I'm thinking about it. But we don't really need that many of them because it's only 2 armor slots. So it's 8 across, it's 8 armors or 4 of each. So after week 1, you're already taken care of as far as your Pegasus goes. So.
Yeah, but doesn't the Pegasus have a lot of built-in, what is it, corrosive damage?
Corrosive survival?
Yeah.
Yeah, but let's.
I mean, it's much easier to max that out than it is to max the missile.
Well, okay, let's go back to. Let's go forward a couple till we see the Pegasus, Mike. Okay, we won't. I think it's the next slide. It's the next slide. Okay, so you have defense 5,200, 5,200. So that's even.
Okay.
Okay, and now let's go back to like slide 4 or 5 where we look at the CICs. I think it's the next one. There we go. And one step back because we're just showing. Okay, what I'm saying is, if you put the Nessus on, I would put the ZM1 on to balance the armor out because that's providing 13,600 corrosive survival. And then for the Turin, I would put the corrosive armor to balance out the 13,600 because the armors will give you 10,000, which sort of balances the whole thing out. And that's the way I'm going right now in my head. I'm not building that far ahead, but that's the way I'm thinking. Make sense to anybody, or?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it also crosses out.
Apparently not.
Oh, no. Somebody's got another build idea. They come out of the woodwork. So, and if you've looked through these, if you screenshot this and look through it, we probably don't want to, spend hours on it, but you can just go back and forth. One crosses out the other. Maybe on Friday, I'll put a table together on like all the different things. It's going to be tricky because like The Nessus has a aura cap of 1 on this -30 combat speed of anything that's within his range, while the Turin has a 5 aura cap of a +15 combat speed. So it's 2, would basically 2 Turins would counteract what the Nessus does, and so there's no change in combat speed. So I don't know. That's after going through them, I was going 2 and 2, and hopefully figure out what the flag is doing. So I don't know. And are the armor special even needed when your fleet is fully armored? I'm assuming this is an older question about the Praetorians. And yeah, I wouldn't use any. The only armor special I would use would be the Gallia on the Praetorian. I wouldn't use any of the other ones because they don't actually provide enough oomph there. The numbers are too low, and the Gallia also provides a boost to your countermeasures. I don't know. Any thoughts on that one, anybody? Does that make sense?
It makes sense to me.
Okay. Anybody have anything else on the Pegasus builds and your thoughts on it?
No, we have no idea what the VXP is going to look like, do we?
I know, but it's just sort of yeah. Well, yeah. I'm expecting it to look a lot like the Saturn targets, the Saturn/Nemesis targets, but have some sort of twist associated with it. But if we're done with that and nobody has anything else, because there's also what's going to come out in Pillage, which is the flag. I mean, there's a lot of specials to look at. Maybe we'll talk about that more on Friday, because a lot of people want to build pretty far ahead. And we'll see some of the things that are going on in the VX targets that'll let us explain more as far as potentially what specials we want to put on there, besides the easy ones that were provided during the raid, and that lower penetrative mount. I'm not certain of. I don't. Yeah, I don't. It feels like that is what turns it into an auto fleet, not the CICs. But again, I'm not in the preview servers, so let's just guess by looking at things. Let's go back down, Mike, if nobody else has anything else. I think that we've covered everything except for what everybody thought about Spoils of War.
It got spoiled.
If not for the hiccup, I wouldn't have liked it at all.
Design flaw.
Whatever. I was ready to just have a hissy fit.
You had a hissy fit, but you had how many millions of
Oh,
points?
before I realized that there was a workaround.
Workaround. That's another
What do we want to call it? A fuck up?
Design flaw.
Yeah, before I was able to take advantage of the exploit, before I was able to exploit the exploit, I was ready to just drink too much.
I see.
So I don't know how to
Exploit.
ready to walk out in a huff
I see.
because I did not like it. Then I learned, and everything was cool.
Yeah. I mean, maybe. Let's see. I'm going to take this from the Google search, and because it seems like a lot of people have a problem with the word exploit. Did you hit refresh, Mike?
Sure. Well,
Okay.
It was a design flaw.
No. Okay, there we go.
you want me to just leave it right there, or just hit
Yeah,
record?
yeah.
Okay.
No, it's there now.
Okay.
So
Got it.
I don't know. I'm not sure why people have such an issue with the word exploit.
The way I looked at it, if they didn't have enough QA involved to figure it out, then we weren't taking advantage of nothing. That was the target they gave us, and that's what we did.
I mean, are you reading what's on the screen?
No, the most
Okay, well,
I-
that's useful though. Reading what's on the screen.
make full use and derive benefit from. Yes.
Okay. A bold or daring feat. I'm not even sure, but
I mean,
I'm not sure that. Yeah.
they should have took it. They took what, 24, 36 hours to get it. No, not 36, but
24.
well over 24 hours to get it off the screen. I mean, if it was that big a deal,
It was just under 24 from what I can tell.
yeah, they could have pulled it immediately because they got data. It's not like they didn't know what was going on. They could have seen everybody's hitting this one target and nobody's killing it. Something strange going on here.
Yeah.
Can we get
24 hours it took them?
Mm-hmm.
I think I would have realized it even.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. I mean, I put it on them. Anybody that
I don't think anybody here is blaming the players. I think
right. I
don't know where this is all coming from.
What there's some people were complaining about it. Don't complain. Take advantage of it. Get them while you can.
Well, people are upset that it wasn't equal, and that I do understand. But if all those players that would complain about that would also do the same thing, so
yes,
yeah, I don't see why any players would be upset with anything associated with this. That are, especially the ones that got the points from it. I mean, players were upset that didn't get this.
That's my opinion. The ones that missed out, I think, are upset that they missed out.
Yeah, but they're not upset at the other players.
Shouldn't
They're
be.
upset at Kickstarter.
Shouldn't be. No, shouldn't be.
Yeah.
I think that would be wrong.
So
There are some calling for the ones that did take advantage of it, from the ones that did not get to have people banned.
That's a shame. Ban me then. I took full.
well, I mean, there's a lot of idiots, but yeah, no, as we talked about on the Friday show, what I called for is that they, because points were no longer really part of the economy, I think, in the game after this happened, at least as far as with the number of people that had an enormous amount of points, was to lower the unavoidable damage associated with some of these targets, to make these targets more fun, to re-engage some of these people that felt cheated, or whatever word you want to use for it. But yeah, you're going to find all sorts of people on the internet that are going to, oh yeah, ban them because they did what was within the game. I don't think those people should even really be discussed. They're, just to be honest. So,
I will admit I only used five of them at a time because I couldn't keep track of them.
Yeah, and then you got some really skilled players that were able to use 15.
Yeah. Go for it.
Yeah. So, alrighty. Well, does anybody have much else to talk about? I can post the link. I'm out of beer, so these things happen. I'm not sure if it's one of those days where you guys can go for a few minutes without me.
Did you take me off present?
No, because we're still looking at exploit.
Okay.
So, all right. If you guys don't have much else, we'll take you off there.
Yeah, do that because I need to look something up and I can't.
Yeah.
Can't do it. Okay.
Kix needs to reduce the amount of resources we need for the Praetorians. I mean, unless you're speeding up those builds, I don't know why you're. Unless you know, I don't know. Unless you have a lot of tokens associated with something, I never run out of resources building something unless I am building like 4 at a time. 4 in the same day and just boom, 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 just using up tokens. Does anybody else run into that issue?
I've actually run into the opposite.
Yeah, well, but you're not going to complain about that.
Yeah. But scrap ships that you don't need.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if build a 1 day without tokens, I don't know. I've put the link out there in case anybody would like to join the show. But I think we're probably done with the live stream unless anybody else has anything to add at this point.
No,
Okay.
I'm done.
Well, we'll see you all on Friday, and hopefully we'll have a lot more information associated with what the new target's going to look like for the Pegasus, how different it is from the Saturn and Nemesis, and I'm sure somebody out there will, we won't show the video unless they want to come on and hit some of these targets with fully, ranked and upgraded and whatnot fleets. You guys all know who I'm talking about as far as what, we might learn more from watching some videos on YouTube than actually hitting the targets ourselves. But I think we'll see you all on Friday. And good night, everybody.
Oh, no.
Night all.
Night, everyone.